Okay, did that help at all?
I feel like I want to say yes.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay,
And we
great.
are streaming right now.
Surprised.
So I guess we'll see. Bobby.
That's okay. I'm as awkward in real life as I am on the stream, so
And I was like trying to read your lips. I was like, is this gonna work?
oh man.
Yeah. Let me ask chat.
Can you guys hear us?
Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Okay.
We have sound.
I feel like it might be working now.
Okay. We just needed to turn it off and turn
We
it back on because that
just
is the technical answer for everything.
Yeah, and then Bobby, did you change the name of the stream? Like the stream title? Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you. I was trying to figure out who to ask because it
Thank you,
cannot be
Bobby.
me. Yeah, because I can't actually log in to our Twitch account. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll just let that happen.
Let's just ride with it.
So thank you so much. Robin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Doing
Yeah,
all right.
tell me about work. Tell me about school. Tell me about Robin right now.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, work is a lot, school is a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But work is going well. It's just the nature of the job. It's just always a lot. Um, but school, um, while this semester has totally kicked my butt,
Mhm.
it is almost over,
Yeah.
and that means, oh, I actually got to apply for graduation.
Oh my gosh. So you said
So I'm
August 2025, right? That's when you graduate. Before we get
should
too deep,
be.
tell
Yeah,
us
yeah.
what you're studying and what you do.
Okay. So I'm a vet tech. Um, I have been in this business for like 13 years now, and a lot of our state um, laws are changing this
Mhm.
year. And so I was at a point where I could go back to school because I do actually have a degree already in
Mhm.
public relations and communications, which is what
Mm.
got me hired in the first place because they needed, like, yes, we work with animals, but we work with
Oh.
people. So
That's
they,
very interesting.
mhm,
I was gonna say it was very different, but now I can see how you segue, like you slid in there, you
mhm.
segued in there. That's really cool.
Well, and because my original minor was in equestrian management, and I grew up on a farm,
Oh
and have
my
always had,
gosh.
like, always worked with animals. So I was able to kind of use that. Like, some when I tell people what my original degree is, and they're like, "Oh, so you don't really use that one?" I use it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just with conflict management and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's like
So
applicable to every situation that you're in with someone.
if the things that I learned, like, it was actually really a useful degree. I don't know that I used it for what I had originally thought that I would,
Mhm, yeah.
but in anywhere that you work with the public, having a public relations degree is so helpful in so many ways.
Yeah.
Um, so now I actually get to go back and get my full license, which I'm super excited about. So I will be a licensed vet tech, which means that it's kind of just moving up in my job, and I'm
Yeah.
super excited.
That feels good. That feels good. Like you're leveling up.
hmm
That's always a wonderful feeling. So I'm excited for you. Are we gonna see you in your cap and gown?
Oh no, I'm not going. No,
What?
no, I don't
What
think
do you
so.
mean?
I've already. I mean, I'm old. I've already done the college graduation thing. Like,
No, Bobby's enraged too. He's like,
what?
what?
I don't know. Listen, I still have 2 semesters to go, so I don't know.
So that means you still have 2 semesters to decide.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Yes, I have two semesters to decide.
Give us Katie 20 cap and gown. Yes. That's gonna be so fun. We should see you on stream with us. That'd be really cute.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Because once I graduate, I still have the national exams to get my license, and so that's. I guess I don't feel like I'm done until that's over with.
Until the license thing.
Yeah, until I take the national exam.
I don't know. I feel like it's good to celebrate every step, right? Because then I feel like in life you're always waiting for the next thing. I don't know. I think it's good to think
True.
it's good to celebrate every step of the way.
Fair.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So one of the people in chat
Hmm.
missed his puppy was just having problems today. So it made me think of you. I was like, you should ask Robin what's going on with your puppy. And like she will help you.
Sick puppies are never fun.
I know. So tell me, what are you drinking today for stream?
Okay. So what I'm drinking today in my awesome. Oh, we had to do this again, Lee. In
Yeah.
my awesome
This is the
Lord
best mug. Lord of the
Lord of the
Cat.
Cat,
I want to
and
see
you
the
can't.
other side.
It matches. It's the same
Oh,
on
okay,
both
okay,
sides.
okay, okay.
What you can't see is that it says the Fellowship of the Ring.
That's really cute. That's really cute.
Um, and then, okay, so what am I drinking in my awesome mug? Let me turn my light back on.
Yeah.
So we all know my hatred of tea.
Yes. Yeah, I remember last time you were
So,
like sneakily drinking, was it a bourbon?
okay, the first time I drank bourbon
Yeah.
within my tea cup
Yeah.
because it looks like tea.
Yeah.
And then the last time I was on with Bobby, I said, I think I had gin that night, and I said that they both were plants because that comes from juniper berries. Um, so tonight we have a um, also grows on a bush,
Grows on a bush.
and you squish it up,
Squish
and you
it
drink
up.
it just like you would take tea leaves and squish them up and drink it. New water. I'm drinking wine.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, this is hard.
Great. I'm drinking wine.
Oh, perfect. Red?
No, tonight it's white. Just
It's
a
a
real
wine.
dry Chardonnay.
Okay, I love that. I like that you have a very broad taste in your drinks. It's never the same thing. It's always something different.
Well, I have the ones that I like.
Yeah. Okay. You like a dry Chardonnay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not all about a sweet drink. No.
The
What
Puzzle
tea are you
Queen is
drinking?
puzzled. Yes, I am puzzled. I am drinking a green tea, and it's kind of gross. I have green tea with a collagen powder inside. I don't know if
Okay.
you've heard of it or if it's weird, but yeah, I'm drinking collagen with it.
No, okay, so I actually have heard of that, but I also watched the stream that you and the tea time that you and Bobby did,
Oh
where
yeah,
you were talking
yeah,
about it as well.
yeah.
So,
So I drink a lot of tea with collagen. That's how I get my collagen. It doesn't
mhm.
have a strong flavor, but I think I think when you take collagen, it gives your body like the building blocks to help with your skin. So there's like a chance that it can help with your skin.
It's fair. I mean, I am so not the person to ask about any of that.
Do you want to? Oh my god.
I mean, I don't wear makeup like 90% of the time.
You don't
Because
wear makeup? Are you wearing makeup right now? Oh, you're just
um
naturally beautiful.
oh
Oh
no,
my
I have
god.
okay, so right now for the stream because I
Yeah.
don't want to like disappear. Um Stage makeup and all. So I just have on like a little bit of powder and mascara and some lip gloss.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
But to
my
work, there's no
god.
point in wearing makeup to work for me because it gets licked off. Or I will inevitably I will get something gross sprayed on my face and have to go wash my face anyways.
Just like out of context, my makeup will get licked off at work. Just sounds. Hmm. Okay.
It's the same reason because like I wear contacts and like I don't like wearing my glasses to work ever because um dogs will literally jump up and just like take them.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'm like, no,
That's
no,
dangerous.
I need those. Thank you. Or they'll get up and like lick across them, and I'm like, and now I can't see.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You need to clean your glasses all the time. Oh,
Constantly.
Myth says it's kind of awkward. Definitely a vet visit happening first thing in the morning. I don't think. Okay, I've heard conversations with Robin, and I don't think anything like gross or embarrassing about an animal would like phase you. That's the vibe that
No,
I get from
no,
you. Yeah.
no. I've been doing this for 13 years and lived on a farm before that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we need to be shy about what's happening with our animals.
no, no. I oh, I could tell you horror stories. So
Oh my gosh.
she's leaking.
Oh my gosh.
Bless it. From the back end, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Puddles. Is it a puppy or like a grown dog?
It's I called it a puppy, but I think it's like a grown puppy.
Hmm. I work with a doctor, or I did it a couple years ago. Like full puddles, not small amounts. Girl diagnostic. Yeah, definitely take her in because you need to get that stopped before she gets dehydrated. I can't give you, like medical advice because I'm not yet licensed, but yeah, definitely they can fix that for you probably pretty quick. But I had a vet that I used to work with, and whenever he would see, because I swear, all day, every day, like every other appointment that we see is just either vomiting or diarrhea,
Oh my
like
gosh.
every other one. And so he'd say, "What do I have next?" And I tell him, "Oh, you've got, give him the what it was and what its issue was." And he if it was diarrhea or vomiting, he'd just say, "All right, get it a cork." Like, you can't say that. Now go in the room.
Give her the cork. Oh my gosh. This poor puppy. She doesn't seem
Poor puppy.
uncomfortable. Oh my god.
They'll fix it for you.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, tell me, does Bula feel comfortable around animals? Does she have how easily grossed out is Bula?
Feel like Bula, knowing her backstory and where she grew up and all that kind of stuff, which is not, I don't, it's not really been talked about yet.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I want to know.
she that would be pulling from a lot of my like my farm background.
Yeah.
She's used to having, she's told stories about, like her uncle's three-legged cat
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
hogs at barbecue time. And she did well with one of the mules that we had, not the almighty mule near,
Mjolnir, yeah.
but but before that, when we had like an old tired mule, she knew how to calm it and make it go and coax it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think she's very comfortable with animals. It's just part of life. They help you do your work and you eat them and you know you take care of them. That's what you do. But they also are helpful for a
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah, I do want to know more about Bula's background. Can you tell us anything? Can you like reveal anything?
Um, I can reveal small amounts. Killian did try to approach her and kind of ask her some questions, and she just shut down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
she is she has not wrapped her mind around what's going on yet.
Yeah.
And where she's from, when things are weird or different, you don't really talk about them. You shove that under the rug and everything is fine and wonderful.
Yeah.
She's from a place where family is a big deal. Um,
Yeah, I
you
can see
know,
that.
multiple generations all living kind of close and together and working, but if you are not what is expected, you gloss that over. You don't draw attention to it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit shameful.
Yeah.
And she is half orc.
Mm. I did have some okay, I do have some questions about that. I have so many questions. You don't have to answer, but I do have some questions.
I see. Here's the thing: is I want to answer all of them. I want everyone to know, like she's a wonderful character, but I have to save some
For the
for the story.
stream. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Can you like, depending on the question, maybe you could like tease an answer?
Sure.
Okay, okay, okay,
Sure.
okay. Cause okay, I feel like a lot of what we see about Bula and what we know about her, it's mostly really in relation to Maraway, right? Like that's the way that she kind of expresses her love and like affection and her care. So yeah, I think I'm kind of curious about Bula, like outside of that relationship. Like, who is Bula without Maraway? I want to know about that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So it can be a little bit of a difficult question because I don't know that Bula 100% knows. And that is partially, not all, that's partially the reason that she clings to Marway so much. It
Hmm.
it gives her a purpose.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, he is, you know, like I said, she comes from a place where family is very important, and she's not there anymore.
yeah,
And he was the first thing that felt oddly familiar and
yeah.
felt in some ways like home in an odd way. Um, so she's a lost soul. She's trying
Hmm.
to figure out who Bula is as well.
Yeah. Can you?
But
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but she has found at least a start of a purpose with
With
Marway.
Maraway, yeah.
Mhm.
Can you say why she left home?
I'm trying to decide how much this is going to impact it. She got to a point where her thinking deviated from what was expected. And
Mhm.
she was always, as I said, she's half orc.
Mhm.
People don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Her family are orcs.
Mhm.
And she never quite fit in, but did well. I mean, had friends, family, um, what was partially accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
So
can you say whether Bula's mother or father is an orc?
Bula's mother is very much an orc.
Okay, Bula's mom's an orc. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Can you say if Bula knows who her dad is?
We don't talk about things that are different or shameful.
Okay, okay. I do have a question. So I remember early on, I don't know if I just made this up or if I remembered it. Did you say that Bula's background is kind of like reminiscent of like Appalachia
Hmm.
culture? Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, I feel like it does remind me of like Appalachian culture and have you ever read the book like Educated?
I think so. No.
It's like about a woman who grows up in Appalachia and she kind of leaves. And I think like her story really resonated with me
Hmm.
because like her experience of like leaving her community and coming into like regular society,
Hmm.
it really reminded me of like an immigrant story because like the cultural norms
Hmm.
are like very, very different. And I was like, oh my gosh, I relate to this woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you think of an immigrant being somebody from a different country, and
Yeah.
that is what it is. But
Yeah.
on a smaller scale, as someone who has traveled quite a bit,
Mhm.
um, that can happen to a small amount just going from one place in the US to the other.
Yeah, that's what
There's
it felt like.
different,
She's fully
yes,
American. I was like, but she's
yes,
experiencing culture shock right now.
yes. And there are still those pockets, I'm obviously from the South.
Yeah.
There are still those pockets that are very behind, very
Yeah.
poor, very, and that's partially what I was kind of drawn on for there. I've, been to some of those places and have some family in some of those places, and
Yeah.
it is very much its own thing.
Yeah, they have their own just like way of life, and
Mhm.
I think like just regular people, like I think when they encounter like this woman, it's
Mhm.
like an autobiography. When they encounter her, I think sometimes they just don't understand that she comes from like a very different place, and there is this
Right.
like miscommunication, and like you experience all these things. So yeah, yeah, I thought it was very
Yeah.
interesting, and it does remind me of Bula.
Yeah. I will say that talking to Kara about my her backstory, and it was like I struggled for a while because I had an overview of Bula, but I wanted more specific backstory.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden one day it was just like, and it was like seriously the day before I was supposed to sit down with Kara and talk to her about the
Hmm.
backstory before we started. I was just like, that's it. This is it.
Hmm.
And this is the story that it makes, and this is what happened, and this it was like it came to me all of a sudden. Um, but uh, I told her, so she was like, well, what region do you want to be from? I was like, the mountains.
Yeah.
She said,
Yeah.
there are no mountains. I said,
Oh, really?
well, that's where she's from. She said, all right, well, we're going to add a mountain range.
We're
So
gonna put a
we
mountain.
added a mountain range in the world just for Bula.
You built a mountain just for you.
I built a mountain range that I left.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. That
Can
was
you
it.
say what inspired you?
What inspired me?
For her background story.
I don't know, a little bit of real life, a little bit of good storytelling, a little bit of, because now I still live in a very rural area.
Yeah.
Um, like we still have clients that come in that can't read or write. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's not the backwoodziest place ever, but it's still. I
Mhm.
mean, it's still an old town.
Yeah.
So some of these things, and it's funny because some of the stories that Bula tells, um, I would say probably a very small percentage of them are just made up off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The rest of them are either real stuff that my family has done or real stuff that clients have told me when they've come into work or like these things are I'm pulling from real life there. So
Yeah, I feel like we had a game show that's like Bula-ism. Is like, did Robin make this up or is it real?
some of them might shock you.
I think that'd be really fun.
And
Okay.
that's not to say like I'm
Yeah.
definitely not looking down. Like I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of where I am
Yeah, of
now. I love
course.
my little town. Like I love my family. Um it was kind of fun to even be able to have a character to be like, this is what I know, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Do you feel like it's like comfortable?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I've said more than once, like they all want to know like how did you come up with this one, or how did you pick this character for the stream? And mine very much was I panicked. I've said it before. It was I know her. I've played a variation of her before in a game. Um, I know her, and then when I made the backstory, I made it something that I would be very comfortable in because I've
Mhm.
never streamed before. Like I've played D&D
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't, and I've done like stuff on stage and all that kind of stuff. I've performed
Hmm.
in a lot of different ways, but not necessarily in such a off the cuff kind of way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, like an improv way. Neither have I. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, like,
yeah.
well, I have, but not at this level, I would say. This is like something different, yeah.
Like, give me a script, I'm good. I can do that all day.
Mhm.
I've sang in a couple bands and stuff. I know what I'm playing and I know what I'm singing. I'm not making it up. So this is different for me. So I definitely went into a comfort zone for sure.
I think that's good because then when you come across something, it's easy to like fall back and be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, I know." Because it's like
Right.
instinctual. So I think that was very wise. Do you think your next character would be very different?
Do mainly because number one, I love variety. Just
Yeah.
in life in general,
Hmm.
variety is very much the spice of life, like in all manners. So I've played this and I've sat with this character and I've been through her story and we'll see how this campaign goes, but I feel like it's going to be a while. And so by the time we get done with this, like she is her own thing and she's this creation that we've made.
Yeah.
So I want to make something very different so that it's
Mhm.
not running together, not pulling from her to somebody else. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, like and by then, we'll have streamed. I'll be comfortable. I know you guys because that was the other thing too. It was like coming in.
Yeah.
I've always
That
played
was
D&D with
so
people that I
hard.
know, right? And
Yeah.
so all of a sudden, it's people I don't know. And so again, went with a comfort zone. But like I'll know you guys and know
Yeah.
the process, and so then I feel like I'll have the room to kind of branch out into some other things that will be fun to play and explore.
Yeah, I know Bobby already has his second character ready. And I've been thinking too, so I'm definitely curious to see what your next character is. Do you have anything you want to share or do you have any concepts yet or not yet?
Um, there's a couple things that I've kind of tossed around. I really like I've said a couple times my in-game character right now or my in-person character right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
I have so enjoyed playing her. So I
Yeah.
don't know that I would play her exactly,
Yes.
but maybe some of her traits would
No,
translate
yeah.
over. Um,
Mhm.
and then at first I thought maybe a bard, and then of course JP was like, "I would like to be a bard." I was like, "You do that, sir." Do something else, which is totally kind of flexible. I've never played one before, so it was one of those things that was kind of like, maybe should I try this?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I also I don't know a lot of I have a couple characters that are kind of rolling around in the back of my mind all the time.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I do have one question. I feel like I know that you're very musical. Are we
Mhm.
gonna hear Bula be musical?
Ooh, I don't know that Bula is musical. I feel like if she were, you probably would have heard it already because it would probably be like a drunken ditty,
Mhm.
as it were.
Mhm.
I don't, and I don't say that because like I don't want to do it. I say that because I don't feel like it fits her
Fits
character.
her. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
think if she were to sing, like the roosters would run for cover. I think she would screech even more than they do.
Okay, so I do have some questions. So Bula is a half orc, and we
Mhm.
know that kind of like through her fighting experiences, like some very unexpected things are like happening to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that related?
She doesn't know.
Mm.
She has no idea. She has no idea what's going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but there are some real weird things, and I I love I loved Killian's attempt to like ask her, and she's just so freaked out right now about the whole thing.
Yeah.
She was just like, "That's what you're talking about? Don't look at me."
I feel like, yeah, I feel like Serafina and Bula are similar in that way.
Mhm.
And I wonder if it's a reflection of our own characters, like our own people. But I feel like Serafina and Bula are not as they're not being as vulnerable as the rest of the characters have been.
Right? I
Everybody's
feel like
opening up, and we're just like, no, go
all
away.
these. I know it's funny because you usually think of. I know this is like such a generalization, but like ladies being the emotionally open, and we're
Yeah.
just like, don't talk to me. I
Don't
don't
look
feel
at
anything.
me.
And all the men are like, let's have these deep talks about how we
Yeah.
feel and what's going on with our lives. We're just like,
They're
no,
like
stop.
asking each other. Yeah. And connecting on an emotional level.
Yes, and it's been some of the sweetest interactions. And then he tries, and she's just like, absolutely not.
Hmm. What do you think would make Bula feel more vulnerable? Because I think that's kind of what I've been thinking about recently for
Yeah.
Serafina is um finding a way in which she could learn to be more vulnerable. So like have you
Mhm.
thought about like under what circumstances that would be?
I do. I have. I think what Bula needs is time.
Mhm. Yeah.
She just
She's a
needs,
slow burn.
she is a slow burn. She's a very stand back and observe
Yeah.
and make her own judgments.
Mhm.
I think she needs time with the party,
Yeah.
and she needs time to process it on her own. I don't think she's one that's going to try to figure it out loud. She's
Mhm.
one that's going to try to say, "Let me wrap my head around this, and then if you want to have a conversation about it, then I think maybe I can."
Yeah. I kind of wonder, like, I'm kind of thinking about all of the characters and like what I know about their motivations.
Mhm.
I do feel like Bula and Serafina, I think they both feel like a sense of like shame maybe. Maybe that's kind of what's
Mhm.
making them feel like more closed off. Is their sense of shame about like who they are and like um yeah, maybe like what kind of like what they're running away from.
Yeah.
Um I think that maybe makes it harder for them to
Yeah.
open up and be vulnerable because it is such a deep level of shame for their characters.
When you get judged over and over again,
Mhm. Yeah.
you take those things and you don't present them to people anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of how Serafina feels too. Oh, I wonder if Bula and Serafina are gonna connect over their deep shame.
Long as Serafina doesn't try to put dresses on her again.
Did I try to put a dress on you? I don't remember that.
You
Was
tried
it
to put a dress
at
on me. It
Centipelli?
Yes, it
Okay.
for the ball.
Yeah, yeah, when we went shopping. But that was like a jumpsuit.
Uh huh.
That's
Uh
not a dress.
huh. I mean, you threw dresses at me too.
But that was like a panic throw. That wasn't like an actual one. That was just like in a moment. That was that was situational and not an earnest pick.
Right, right, right. That was because Bula overheard things that she wasn't supposed to overhear, but she's never going to say anything about it. And she
Oh my
felt an awkward
gosh,
moment,
yeah.
and so she
Yeah.
stuck her nose in and said something about food.
Which is exactly what I wanted. It's just like, let's
Mhm,
move on.
mhm, mhm.
We're like,
She often feels super awkward, and like I said, she observes a lot. So
yeah,
a lot of times, if she feels like somebody needs it out,
yeah.
she tries to give them an out.
Oh, Dane says Killian will crack the nut. That is Bula. Ooh, he is
He
determined.
is
He's
determined.
determined.
She's I hope she doesn't crack your head like a nut.
Killian's gonna try to approach you again. That's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting.
Well, she does she does look up to Killian a little bit.
Yeah,
I
what does she admire about Killian?
um, I think it's just his kind of calm, take charge kind of demeanor, but
Hmm.
still willing to kick some butt. So
Hmm.
he feels solid to her, I guess. And so on the few times that she has released Marway's safety to somebody, it's usually been Killian because she feels
Yeah,
like he's solid and can handle it.
I think that's true. I think Killian is solid.
Hmm.
Dane says it's a risk Killian is willing to take. Hmm.
Fair, fair.
Do you think so? Since Bula looks up to Killian, do you think that would lead her to be open and vulnerable?
It would have to be the right time. It would have to be after she has had time to process and kind of figure out what's going on her own and have at least some sort of picture to give him. And
Okay.
liquor never hurts.
Mmm. Oh my God, Dane, do you hear that? Get her drunk. Get her wasted.
Of course, I want to see Killian try to outdrink Bula because that's not going to happen either. By the time she starts spilling her guts, he's already passed out over
Dane,
on the other side of the room.
I have an idea. I have an idea. Dane, you should use Marway's cup and then challenge her to a drinking contest. I think I
That's
cracked it.
cheating.
Dane, do it.
I mean,
um,
for all he knows, she actually has opened up to him already, but he was already passed out in the corner 3 drinks before she was.
oh my gosh. Um, I feel like I do have like some suspicions about Bula. Oh my gosh, like I want to ask. Can I just like tell you my suspicions and you can just like not answer? 'Cause I just want to say it.
Want to know so bad what you think.
Oh my god. Okay, so you
Yes,
want me to
please.
try to guess? You want to try to guess?
Mhm.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it a coincidence that Bula is drawn to Maraway in particular?
If you could ask a question, I did not say that I would answer it.
I don't want to say more because I feel like that's my suspicion.
She doesn't know why she's
Okay.
drawn to Maraway. Maybe it's just because he's super cute.
Mhm. Now I don't want to ask more because I feel like I'm just crying.
I know, but I like so want. But I really want to know what your questions are.
Yeah, I mean like um these flumps. From where do they come?
I don't know. I didn't make those. I thought you were making. I thought Maraway was making those.
yeah.
He says 550,000 different things all the time. This is just another one
But
of his little things.
Do flumps and the things that Maraway makes do they come from the same place?
Maraway. He's the one pulling this crap out of the air.
The highest province versus question.
I could do this all night. Keep them coming. I am real good at deflection.
I feel like you know what my suspicions are. Hmm.
She doesn't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Um.
I, that face looked slightly disappointed.
So okay. Okay. So Bula
Mhm.
can like move from like one space to another. Um. Randomly.
It was real gusty on that ship.
It's real ghosty.
She just lifted a leg and whoo, there she went.
Okay. Okay,
Ah, Bobby
these
has a point.
are probably the best reflections out of here, you know. Anyway, so uh what kind of love interest would tempt Bula?
Oh, I mean, for sure, like, when they were at the Naked Symphony or whatever at a
Mm-hmm.
concert they went to there. I mean, there were lovely people there that she would have definitely partaken of until she saw that Maraway was so sleepy. And then that's her priority.
Do you hear that, Bobby? Maraway is blocking Bula from getting the satisfaction that she needs.
That's not what I meant. I think it would have to be something that
She
love
has
interest
needs too,
wise.
Bobby.
Is there I mean, it would have to be something very very special and specific, and she's not he said oops. She's not like actively looking. That's not. Is she opposed to it? No. Is she actively on the hunt? No. She's just trying to figure out what she's doing.
Yeah, yeah, that's like overwhelming enough.
Isn't it though?
So like what is Bula thinking about like her being like moved around in like these flumps? Like is she, like what is she telling herself? Is she just like very confused? Does she suspect that it could be part of her or no?
She's telling herself that Marway made the floof
Mhm.
and that it was very gusty on that ship that day.
Okay. Okay.
Um, she is. It has not happened very many times.
It hasn't. That's what makes it hard is that doesn't happen every
Hmm.
encounter.
So she is still in denial.
Mm.
This is not happening. And the radiant cleavage, let me just tell you, she was just
The
having a
girls just
good,
looked great that
they
day.
looked real good that day. I don't know if like the sun reflected through a window or
Just like the glistening.
the glistening sweat from where she was in battle and um the sunlight in just the right way and
Yeah.
everything was just perfect. That was not her either. That was a trick of the light, obviously.
Are we gonna see radiant cleavage again?
Fun. And the glistening sweat.
Yeah, you know. We just like missed Bula. Next time Seraphina's just like misting your boobs.
Just follow with baby oil.
Just let it happen.
Yes. Yes. I'm not gonna lie. So, I did dress up as Bula for Halloween,
Yes! Oh my gosh, that was the best. It was so good. That was
which was an experience.
oh my goodness. That was
I
amazing.
At one point I so like those lights that you just push and they turn on.
Mhm.
Like a little, I wanted to put one light down in there,
Oh my
but
god,
nobody
yes.
would have got that but y'all.
I know. Why are your boobs glowing?
Radiant cleavage.
What's
Don't
up
ask
with
questions.
that? ma'am.
Excuse me. Don't ask questions.
We have to get your Bula and my Marway cosplays together. You
I
do.
know because they're so good.
They're so cute.
But like I told you guys, don't ever question my commitment until you have painted the inside of your ears and your armpits.
Oh my
Okay?
gosh. Yeah. That sounds so uncomfortable.
Really? I actually spent a little extra and got a really good um paint.
Yeah.
It was so light.
Really?
And it
Oh,
like
yeah.
it didn't like crack or pull because I've used paints before that were uncomfortable and like you felt like you couldn't move or it was like cracking and stuff. This one was it was like air.
Okay, okay. I wanted to ask you about
Mhm.
that because when I saw you, obviously you looked amazing, but then also I felt like anxiety, just like imagining like being in that and like can you like
Right.
touch stuff? Does it like come off? Like
Okay. So I really liked that one because it was super light.
yeah.
I did have on, like a primer and stuff beforehand just to make sure it didn't like sink into my pores and turn me green for a week.
Yeah.
Um, but it was super light, which was nice. It didn't crack or pull. I could touch stuff, but it started to wear off by the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wanted it to last a little longer, so I'd probably need a better like I had a setting powder that I used only on certain places.
Mm.
I
Did
feel
those
like if I had
kind of stay?
I feel like
Yeah.
if I had a setting spray, that might would have helped some, but it was just like so much of my body.
It's like, yeah, there's so much
Green.
exposed skin. You're like half the bottle is setting spray.
Yes. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it didn't stay as long. And then so that was like I dressed up for my in-person D&D game.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so this past week when we played again, I looked at my sheet and I was like, why does that look like a couple green smudges on the corner? And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what is this green on my character sheet?
Yeah. My skin flakes.
Where I like grabbed it or something and smeared a green thumb across it. Um, but it wasn't terrible, honestly. It was kind of an
Okay.
interesting experience.
Okay, yeah. I've never painted myself. I have been curious, but I think just the thought of it makes me feel very anxious because I feel like I would
Yeah,
feel like claustrophobic or something. I don't know. Or like you have to be so
yeah.
careful with like everything you encounter.
The hardest part for me was that I couldn't wash my hands.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because being in a medical field, like I wash
Yeah.
my hands every 2 seconds all the time. It's
Probably
just
like muscle memory. Yeah.
yeah, it's just habit. So like, and it's not like I was doing something gross. But like I would eat a snack and then want to go wash my hands, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but they're pretty and green.
Yeah, exactly.
Like take a napkin and like dab it.
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Do you feel like you were able to enter like the mind space of Bula as you were dressed as her?
So funnily enough, because we took quite a few pictures,
Yeah, they were
in
amazing. I loved your photo shoot. It was
uh
amazing.
that was a portion of them. So it was I took a bunch where I like tried to get into like what would Bula do for this or what, and again, this is fun size Bula because she's what
Yeah,
6'5", and
exactly. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
5'2".
you're like the mini.
I'm the mini version
Baby Bula.
of baby Bula. But then I had to sit down and play D&D with my other character.
Yeah, yeah. Who's like kind of like flirty, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
she's
very different.
very different Dragonborn arcane trickster rogue who is
Mhm.
charismatic as all get
Charismatic,
out
yeah.
and
Yeah.
will flirt with anything that moves, whether it's
Yeah.
alive or not. Um, and so it did take me a minute. So we started playing um, because we all we hung out for a minute. We took pictures of all our costumes. Um, we ate dinner, and then we sat down to play, and I was like, okay, I rage. No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on, guys. I have to
Yeah,
like
like
not
wipe your mind.
not look at myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I feel like I did. It was a lot of fun. But it was hard to play as one character while dressed as the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's such an interesting experience. Um, do you think you would ever dress up for stream?
For stream on a work night? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
So
That's true.
yeah. So it didn't take as long as I thought it would. And it wasn't terrible, but on stream nights, like I am literally
Mhm.
running home from work
Yeah.
where I am disgusting,
Yeah.
scarfing down a meal because
Mhm.
I'm starving as well
Yeah.
because my job is very physical. Um, and then I'm running in here to get set up and look halfway presentable. So I don't know that I could do it for stream unless for some reason I didn't have work.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
I could just go to work painted green.
Get it licked off of you.
That's true.
That's
You
your
would be
makeup
able to
wipe.
tell everywhere I got licked.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really interested to see like Bula get like more vulnerable, but it sounds like it's just like a matter of time. I feel like we are starting getting to get into like the meat of the campaign with like
I
Killian's thing
know.
getting like kicked off. I was like, "Ooh, this is juicy." And then freaking Zana being the weirdest like sadist.
Right?
Why are people not like horrified? he's like he's like it heals, but it doesn't set right, so it's gonna be messed up forever. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah, that was
like, what is this?
okay, so it was intense and it was awkward, but at the same time it was, and this is going to sound stupid, but as somebody in veterinary medicine,
Yeah.
like he's a lion. He's an animal. We forget that. He's an animal. Like, is he a personified animal? Yes. But if you could see the wounds that we patch up on these cats from other cats, I'm talking domestic cats.
Oh my gosh.
They are brutal. Brutal. And so it's like when I see it, that it just, when he does stuff like that, I'm like, oh yeah, he's an animal. He's a
That
literal
was
beast.
too intense for me.
Oh man, it so tracks though. I like, I guess because those kind of things don't bother me because I see a lot of stuff in my job.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, to me it's just like, yes, I I it's a reminder that he's a beast.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, he's really into character. This tracks.
Talking about Zada, not royal. But
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, okay, now that things are kind of like kicked off,
Hmm.
do you have any like predictions for like what's gonna happen next in the campaign?
Oh my gosh. Um, I never know what's going to happen this campaign, which is part of why I love it so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I will say that as we started, I was so blasted nosy about wanting to know everyone else's backstories just because
Yeah.
Kara was like, I've sat down with all of you and it's wonderful and you have great backstories and they're so I was like, I want to know all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Me too.
Right? Um, she made it sound so enticing. And then, so I was really surprised that we were already getting so much of Killian's and so much of Maraway's. And we've gotten quite a bit of Idos's as well.
I think so too. Yeah.
Hmm. And then some bits and pieces of Zada's.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. Like the campaign itself just takes its crazy twists and turns because of Kara's brilliant
Mhm.
imagination.
Yeah.
But also just these characters are so rich, like so well thought out and so
Mhm.
detailed. So as far as predictions, like I feel like I don't even want to say anything because I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about like how Bula might change moving forward?
My hopes for Bula.
Yeah. What are your hopes for
Um,
Bula?
so we all start out with a story and we have hopes for our characters, but we don't know what the DM has in store for us. We don't know how our partners and our team members are going to shape what changes them or how they react to things,
Yeah.
which is kind of fun. Just seeing how we interact with each other and how that changes our characters. Just watching, like for instance, just watching Killian go from being like, "No, Darkdown sucks," and then y'all kind of changed his mind where he was like, "Maybe I should look a little deeper," and then he had a totally different view. Like, I love stuff like that where it's not what you expect,
Yeah.
but they're feeding off of what the story is and what the other characters are saying.
Yeah, they're changing and evolving.
hmm
Yeah.
So Bula wants to find a purpose and acceptance. She is not a complicated creature.
Yeah.
Um, she wants to be useful and needed and wanted. And she wants to find a, a new family.
Yeah.
And if that can be accepted by her, the from if that can be accepted by the family that she comes from, great. That would just absolutely, she would love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
If it can't be, then it just is what it is.
Yeah. Hmm. So like, okay, with hmm. Do you think like Bula would talk about her feelings and like how um she felt with her family and like why she left and like sort of the origins of what she's keeping like locked away?
Would she talk about it?
Mhm.
I think if there was enough whiskey, she might.
Hmm. I feel like I'm getting so many ideas now.
I feel like it is an ingrained thing
Just like keep it shut, keep it locked up.
in where she's come from and what she
Yeah.
knows, that you just don't talk about things that are different,
Yeah.
awkward. You just don't. You
Yeah.
don't burden other people with that. They don't need to know.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think that that is something that I hope as a player eventually naturally comes out because it tells a lot about her as a character.
Yeah.
But it would have to be the right circumstances.
Yeah. I hope for both of us that Serafina and Bula eventually start to become more vulnerable. I think that'll be very interesting and very fun.
hmm
Yeah.
Yes, because Bula's been watching her, has been watching Serafina. Um, she sees what she identifies with as a very thick mask.
Yeah.
hmm She sees it and understands it because she
Is she
knows it.
projecting? Yeah.
She knows it. So that's kind of interesting for her to see. And she's not at the point yet where she wants to poke and prod too much, because she also knows what it feels like to be poked and prodded at
Yeah.
when you don't want to be.
Yeah. I have a feeling that, I don't know, I think even if we don't find situations, I'm sure events will reveal parts of our story that way.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that'll
I
be
mean, like
fun
I
and
said,
interesting.
Bula's an observer. She sees things.
Yeah, I don't know if Seraphina's that observant.
When people think that Bula is just eating a snack in the corner, she is just eating a snack in the corner.
She's like,
While she is tracking and clocking everything that is going on in the room
yeah.
and hearing every conversation.
Okay, okay. Hmm. So before we close out, tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about Int Mod Pod and give us like a little teaser about like what's coming up.
Okay, so I had the absolute joy and pleasure of sitting down with Bobby today, and we recorded what I think is next week's Int Mod Pod. I'm terrible with timing.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's coming
um,
soon.
it's coming soon. But we sat down and did that today, and I was so excited, and I loved it so much because he's starting into the
Oh, the
teaching
camp.
about
The
the
oh
different
the
classes.
classes, yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. And so he had me on because he was doing Barbarian.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like I learned a ton while we did the podcast. Um, because we went over like what 2014
Mhm.
Barbarian looked at, and then we looked at the changes in 2024 and what that looks like. And as we all know, Dane, um, in all his infinite wisdom,
Yeah.
brought all of us kicking and screaming into the 2024 rules, because he knew it was going to be better, and it is.
It is better.
It is better. It's just I had to learn new stuff. um, but it was really fun for me to see, because I've only looked at the new stuff up to where we are now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in the podcast, we went all the way up to like level 20, seeing
Wow.
what that looks like. And so now I'm super psyched for what's coming for Barbarian, for
What
my
was
character.
Yeah, what was like one thing that you're very excited about to try?
Apparently the 2024 Barbarian, as they get along their path up to higher levels, can move a lot. And just all the hit die. All
Interesting,
the hit die.
interesting.
So extended rage and all kinds of stuff.
Knowledge of power, and then Dane's like, now you can build out Bula to level 14 like me and Bobby have. Yeah, that's so funny.
I mean, like, I feel like I kind of did while we were doing the
Yeah.
podcast. In my head, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna want that, and I can't wait till I have that,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely taking that."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was good, y'all. When that one drops, I mean, obviously, listen to all of Int Mod Pod, especially if you are just learning to play D&D. It really breaks it down. It's awesome. I love it. As someone who has played for like 10 years,
Mhm.
but I've played a lot of homebrew versions,
Mm.
and I have only a couple years experience in actual like strict 5e. This podcast and being on it and doing that with him has helped me play this campaign and enjoy it more, because when you know all the things that you have, it's so much more fun. Like, oh, I didn't know I had that. Oh, I can't wait till I get that.
Yeah, that's how you turn into Dane and Bobby. It's like,
Listen, I'm already obsessed with this game and it's sucking me in even more.
Oh, and the episode's dropping on the 26th. Perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, Robin, thank you so much for joining me today. And
Yeah.
thank you for bearing with me with all my technical audio issues. Dane, you weren't here, but it did not go well. As always.
We just had to turn it off and turn it back on, as you do with electronics.
I didn't change my audio settings at all, and somehow it didn't work. I'm sorry. I feel like one of those like old people with the computer be like, I didn't do anything. It just
I didn't touch any buttons.
I swear. It's like, you obviously messed it up. What did you do?
You clearly touched something.
Yeah,
I know
exactly. I know you did it. What did you do? Oh my god. Alrighty, guys. Have a great evening, and we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Bye.